Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the A-Game. I'm your host, Noah C. Cornelius, and this past weekend, your Mountaineers did the usual, pulling off one of the biggest upsets in college football history. Football is not the only one getting national recognition, but now getting ESPN to come here for game day. The App State volleyball team is getting hot after a great weekend, and how did the field hockey team do on their adventure to the Triangle to take on number 16 ranked Duke University? All this and more now on the A-Game.
Your Mountaineer football team did it again. They once again made history by taking down number 6 ranked Texas A&M on the road by a score of 17-14.
The volleyball team carried the momentum for all of App State by having a near-flawless weekend at the HOM Mountaineer Classic Tournament.
College football week 2 was just as insane as week 1 as multiple upsets rang out across the nation. Guys, what did you think about the insane App State win versus Texas A&M?
Well, we really dominated the game. Even though it was only a 3-point deficit, we held control of the ball for over 40 minutes throughout the entire way. You take a look at the App State defense a week after giving up 63 points to North Carolina. They go and stop Texas A&M, holds them under 200 total yards, under 100 passing yards, under 100 rushing yards. They played phenomenal. And Jalen McLeod is a defensive player I wanted to highlight because he had 2 sacks. Replacing Brendan Harrington, who was out with an injury. Also had the 2 forced fumbles on a single play. So it was a great defensive effort by App State, and offensively, up front, they just manhandled the Texas A&M defensive line.
Well, on paper, I don't think that we should have won, but we wanted it more, and we ended up coming out on top.
See, last week when Jeff, Eric, and I were on the discussion board, in my heart, and in the booth's gonna get mad. Shout out Eric, the producer, he's the best. They're gonna get mad when I say this, but in my heart, I felt like App State had a chance to win this game. I just didn't say that because I thought I was gonna embarrass myself. I'm just gonna keep it real. But I want to highlight the defense, App State's defense. You know, they kept Texas A&M's Hayne King to 13 out of 20, 97 yards, 65% completions, and got sacked twice with a 21.3 QBR. You know, for a team that's supposed to be bigger than us and stronger than us and stop the defense, that guy got sacked a lot. And that just goes to show, like, when you have that dog in you, when you have that grit that your defense has, I don't care how big the guy on the other side is, you get past them.
And that's what I was telling people is Texas A&M, they've got a really good defense, just a really good all-around team. But what's going to give App State a chance is the fact that their quarterback play is very suspect. And we saw that this weekend. Haynes King was very, very unimpressive. I mean, like I said, the App State defense played phenomenally. Texas A&M star wide receiver Anaya Smith held to just 4 catches for 21 yards. I couldn't imagine our defense playing much better. It was incredible to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one more thing I wanted to add is head coach Sean Clark had incredible clock management. 41-minute possession we had. 18 minutes for Texas A&M. That's incredible. I don't think enough people are talking about that. That is an all-time ball controlling game.
Mm-hmm. I think we ran somewhere around 50 more plays than Texas A&M. So, I mean, we played the ball control game and we won it by a landslide.
Yeah, we controlled it. And not only did we come away with a win, but we also got a $1.5 million check, which makes it all the sweeter.
Bring out the Brinks truck. Mm-hmm. So college game day is coming to Boone. What does that mean for our town, our football? Just what does it mean?
Well, it means a ton, obviously. I feel like this trip from game day to Boone has been long overdue. You know, they've made the trips to smaller FCS schools before, you know, the Sun Belt. Like, they've been to James Madison. They've been in North Dakota State, I think, twice now. I mean, it feels wrong that it's taken them this long to get here. But I think with the win over a top 10 team, I mean, we deserve it. And I think if we don't win that game, College Game Day is probably going to Texas A&M because they're playing a top 15 ranked Miami team. But this means so much for the community. Just getting our name out there as a football program, I think it's going to be awesome.
It's our 8th season in the FBS level, which we've won 4 Sun Belt titles. So, I mean, the visit was long overdue.
Yeah.
No, definitely long overdue. And we talked about this with UNC Chapel Hill. When they did that game, they talked about how the ABC stores made $80,000. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the town economics as a whole. You know, for publicity, this is huge. They were like, there's a viral video on Twitter where the Texas A&M guys were doing their midnight yell, and they were like, "Yeah, what is a Boone? Like, look, these hillbillies can't even spell the name." That aged poorly. So now we're on the map. Our town is on the map. I think prospects are going to look at App State and be like, you know what? If I don't get into like a 5-star like school like this, let's take a look at App State. Because App State's program and the way that they've built it up, there are places for like a 4-star, maybe even a 5-star recruit to come in and make a name for yourself. And that is true. So this is huge for us, for College Game Day too, because we're going to get them some views.
Yeah, and just think about App State's season so far. They're going to be on top of the college football world for 3 straight weeks because the first week, the game against Carolina generated a ton of buzz, although it was a loss. Second week, you beat a top 10 team, generates a ton of buzz, and now you have College Game Day coming here. I mean, it's, as far as publicity goes, this is a dream start for the App State season.
Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back to talk about how the other fall sports have been at App State.
Life is a journey. We're told that there are mountains and valleys before us. A mountaineer trudges through. Where others see an obstacle, a mountaineer sees an opportunity. A mountaineer climbs tomorrow's mountains today. So what is a mountaineer? A mountaineer is you.
Welcome back to the A Game. Now we'll take a look at how the other App State teams performed this past week.
In the first matchup of the home matchup for the Mountaineers, they faced Texas A&M Commerce. Senior McCall Denny was once again leading the way for the team with 15 digs and leading the team with 12 kills. Denny, Lauren Pledger, and Maya Winterhoff all were leading the way for the Mountaineers with 3 blocks each. In the end, the Mountaineers controlled the pace of the match by beating Texas A&M Commerce 3-1.
In the second matchup of the home tournament, the Mountaineers were in a fierce battle with Furman. Junior Sophie Kane shined for the Mountaineers by getting a double-double with 32 assists and 18 digs. Despite this fantastic performance, it was a tough match for the Mountaineers, but they were still able to pull out the win, 3-2.
Presbyterian was the final opponent for the Mountaineers in this home tournament, but it didn't matter for the Mountaineers. They got the easy 3-0 win against Presbyterian to close the weekend with a perfect 3-0 record. Both Lulu Ambrose and McCall Denny were named the Mountaineer Classic All-Tournament team to wrap up a near-perfect weekend for the volleyball team.
The Mountaineer soccer team faced College of Charleston this past Sunday on the road. After going down 1-0 early on, Stephanie Barbosa received a cross from Shannon Studer, and Barbosa was able to head the ball into the back of the net to tie the matchup. Only 4 minutes later, the Cougars were able to get another goal to take the lead. That was enough to get the College of Charleston the 2-1 win against your Mountaineers.
Now shifting gears to field hockey, the Mountaineers had a tough test on their hands. After the incredible start to the season, the team suffered their first loss on the road to Drexel in a tough 3-2 shootout loss. Things did not get any easier for the Mountaineers, though. They continue to travel, but to face the number 16 ranked Duke Blue Devils. Star goalie Addie Clark set a new career-high saves, stopping 13 of the Blue Devil shots. But despite the fantastic performance from Clark, it was not enough, as the Mountaineers suffered another overtime loss, falling to the number 16 ranked Blue Devils by a score of 2-1. Stay where you are, because after the break, we'll hear our takes on NASCAR, UFC, and college football.
To a place where you can grow.
A place to be heard.
And take a closer look.
A place where you can crush it.
And push yourself.
A place to find your voice.
This place rocks. And rolls.
A place where you can get out.
Wow! A place you'll never forget.
So where is this place? Let me show you.
Welcome back to the A-Game, now transitioning to NASCAR. Noah, what exactly happened this weekend?
Well, originally I was going to talk about the other races that happened at Kansas Motor Speedway, but I am calling it audible. Bubba Wallace won his second race of his career in the Hollywood Casino 400 at Kansas Speedway. And I say that's significant because, you know, as a person of color racing in a sport that's historically known for having racial bias, so many people doubted him after he got his first win at Talladega in the rain. And people were like, well, he won it because of the rain, you know. He won it because he was up front and then it started raining. But at Kansas, he dominated the competition. He outran his competition. His car was faster than all the others. He kept it up there and he won the race outright. And social media was ablaze. So much praise for him. But I'm just going to say how it is. A lot of races were triggered. And you know what? Let them tears flow. Another thing about this is it's personal for me. You know, Bubba Wallace was the reason why I got back into NASCAR as a Charlotte boy, grown and raised. I grew up watching NASCAR, but I didn't really see many people that looked like me. And then seeing Bubba Wallace start driving in 2018 for the great Richard Petty finishing second in his first ever start at the Daytona 500 in 2018. I knew then and there, I was like, okay, NASCAR is experiencing a change. I developed a personal relationship with him through social media. I'm not going to say we're best friends. That would be Ryan Blaney and Mamba Smith. Shout out them. But in the times that I have been able to meet him and hang out with him and do go-karting with him, say that 5 times fast, he told me, like, if you really want to go after your NASCAR dreams, you got to put the race aside, you got to put the drama aside, and just focus on what you want to do. I know this was supposed to be a discussion segment where everybody can chime in, but I just want to say Bubba Wallace is a hero for many. No matter the race, creed, sexual orientation, gender, whatever it may be, Bubba Wallace is a hero for many. And as a person of color, a NASCAR fan, a 2311 racing scholarship winner, and as someone who has a personal relationship with you, thank you, Bubba Wallace, for going out there and shutting the haters up.
So Jeff, college football once again had a crazy weekend. What do you think about all the mayhem?
Well, when you looked at the slate going into this week, it wasn't going to be a crazy week, right? There was the 1 or 2 ranked games. Other than that, it was a lot of cupcake games for some of these higher ranked teams. But I mean, just drama all over the place. First, you had the noon game with Alabama and Texas, which was a great game. I thought it was poorly officiated in favor of Alabama. There was the one play in the end zone that could have been called a safety, could have been the difference in the game in between Texas winning or losing. Then you go to 3:30, and that's where the Sun Belt started making their noise. There's obviously App State. We've talked so much about it. We dominated Texas A&M in just a 3-point win. But you also had Marshall going on the road to Notre Dame and beating the Fighting Irish, who were ranked number 8 in the country. Before the game, they had some kind of pep rally walk to the stadium for Notre Dame, and Marcus Freeman said, "I can't imagine a better place to get my first career win." Oh, big mistake, buddy. You have to face the Marshall Thundering Herd. And they beat them pretty darn good. The last touchdown was the only reason that game finished in single digits. Texas Tech quarterback transfer Tyler Columby for Marshall played very well. Stephen Gilmore had the game-sealing pick 6 for the Thundering Herd, brother of Stephon Gilmore. And other than a last-second touchdown, that should have been a Marshall win by double digits. So an impressive performance for them. Sun Belt wasn't done, though, because late at night, the Georgia Southern Eagles, our bitter rivals, who I think we're coming together and rooting for each other today, but they went to Nebraska and pretty much got Scott Frost fired. They had over 600 total yards against Nebraska, and Scott Frost got fired because of it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It was Clay Helton's first big win as coach of Georgia Southern. Again, and you want to look at the prices that these teams got paid. App State got $1.5 million to go to College Station, beat them. Marshall got $1.25 million from Notre Dame, beat them. Georgia Southern got $1.4 million to go to Nebraska, and they beat them. So what a day for the Sun Belt. Obviously, you had Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech last week. They weren't as fortunate this past Saturday, but an incredible week of college football. You also had the Kentucky over Florida game. That was late at night. A lot of people hyped up Florida after their big win against Utah in week 1. And Kentucky just went in there and shut them up without their top 2 leading rushers from a year ago. And then you also had a few FCS to FBS upsets that weren't as notable, but like Holy Cross beating Buffalo on a Hail Mary. You had Incarnate Word beating a previously unbeaten Nevada team. You had Utah State, who won the Mountain West last year. They got, crushed by Weber State this weekend. So it just goes to show you the unpredictability of college football. A lot of people give it grief because there's no competition, but this weekend we proved otherwise.
Yeah, and I'm just going to add on real quickly. Georgia State almost beat North Carolina.
Right.
Like, that's another Sun Belt team that almost beat North Carolina. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Sun Belt is probably in the driver's seat to be the best Group of 5 conference this year.
Fun Belt Conference,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly right.
So, Paula, what was up with all the drama in the UFC 279 this weekend?
So it happened on Saturday, September 10th, right? And initially, Nate Diaz was supposed to fight Kazmet Chimaev, but he missed weight by 7.5 pounds. So they had to do some shuffling around, and Nate Diaz ended up fighting Tony Ferguson. So both of them are veterans in the UFC, right? So they're fan favorites. And it was a very interesting fight. Diaz actually won in the fourth round at 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Diaz submitted Tony Ferguson in the same way that he submitted Conor McGregor back in 2016. So it was really interesting. And I don't know if you guys had seen that, but I remember really liking Nate Diaz after that, and all of his fights were just impressive. And then the second main fight was Kazmet Chimaev against Kevin Holland, and it was a catchweight fight. So since Kazmat didn't make weight, they obviously had to switch it around, and everyone was kind of upset about that, but they actually sold more tickets that day because everyone was like, wow, who knew? So Kazmat had a short fight. It was very interesting. He forced a submission with a chokehold at 2:14 in round 1. He was extremely dominant the entire time. You know, I mean, like, I was watching it and he couldn't be tamed. He was smothering Kevin Holland. It was actually very impressive. So people want to see him in a title fight because he's so dominant, but you can't afford to put him in a title fight when he won't make weight. So Dana White is thinking about moving him up to fight at 180. That way they don't run into those problems. It was a good UFC event, and I am excited for UFC 280 in October.
I'm a fan of watching the UFC in those late Saturday nights. It appalls me that someone misses weight by 7.5 pounds. Like, it's not even close.
Yes, no. Like, it's actually to the point where if Nate Diaz decided to fight him, it probably wouldn't have been safe for Nate because he was practicing his wrestling, and I don't know about you guys, but 8 pounds makes a big difference.
Was he on that Patty Pimblett guy? Was he just shoveling down ice cream or something?
He was having trouble cut weight, and at the end he didn't make it.
It's crazy.
So.
We got a little bit of time here before we end the discussion. So I wanted to ask you, will we see a Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3?
There is talk about it happening in a different promotion because Nate Diaz, his contract ended. So he is planning on starting his own thing, and there is talk about a Conor McGregor-Nate Diaz fight. But nothing is for certain. So stay right where you are because we'll go over some of the crazy matchups that happened in Week 1 of the NFL season and go over some of the stunning matchups from Week 1 for our Mountaineers.
To a place where you can grow.
A place to be heard.
And take a closer look.
A place where you can crush it.
And push yourself.
A place to find your voice.
This place rocks. And rolls.
A place where you can get out.
A place you'll never forget.
So where is this place? Let me show you.
Welcome back to the A Game. Now we'll take a look back at that amazing game from week 1.
This game has had years of anticipation, months of preparation, and it will have 60 minutes to decide it all. It's the Tar Heels, it's the Mountaineers, and it's coming right up on 90.5 WASU-FM, the app. Takes a snap, hands it to Noel. They didn't see the run coming, breaks the tackle, and there he goes down the middle. Nate Noel to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown, Appalachian State. North Carolina a little slow to get a substitution. Bryce has the snap. He's got a wide open receiver. Pearson on the near sideline. Touchdown, Mountaineers. Takes the toss to Peoples. It's a pop pass to Christian Wells, who gets a foot down. And it's an App State touchdown. Well, after the early touchdown going into the second quarter, App State has not sniffed the end zone. It's been an impressive defensive performance from that point through the second half for North Carolina, and they hold a 20-point lead as we head to the fourth. Bryce tosses short side to Noel, who works his way into the end zone for an App State touchdown. First and 10 from their own 25, May in the shotgun. Sends Petaway into motion, he fakes to him and tries a draw, and he'll pick up a few yards. He lost the football, and it's picked up by the Mountaineers. Tyler Bird. Bryce takes the snap, hands to Peoples. No, fakes it to Gibbs. He's wide open down the near sideline. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, App State. Bryce in the pistol with Noel behind him. Bryce gonna look deep to Christian Horn, who's got a step, and he makes the catch for a touchdown. Takes the snap, hands to Peoples, who has a hole. Breaks through. There he goes. Breaks the tackle at the 20, to the 10, to the end zone. Touchdown, Appalachian State. Bryce takes the snap, and he's looking deep to the right side. He's got Davis, and he makes the catch. Touchdown, Appalachian State. What a throw from Chase Bryce. Hughes' kick is away, high bounce, but it's not going to go 10 yards. Nesbitt picks it up down the far sideline. He's going to go ahead. The Peoples to his right. They're going to work this short side of the field. Bryce rolls right, looks, and has Caden Robinson. 2 receivers to each side. Takes a shotgun snap, looking over the middle. He's going for Caden Robinson, and he makes the touchdown catch. Davis motioned in. Bryce rolls right, has to make a man miss. He reaches for the goal line, and he comes up just short. And that will do it from Kidd Brewer Stadium.
This past weekend, the NFL kicked off some thrillers, specifically 2 games being the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. In the Bengals versus Steelers matchup, the Steelers were able to get the 23-20 overtime win after missed field goals from both teams. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow had a rough game, throwing 4 interceptions.
The NFL Sunday drama continued as the Colts traveled to Houston in a unique matchup. Going into the fourth quarter, the Texans led 20-3, but the Colts did not go away, and they scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to tie up the game and send it to overtime. With little time left in overtime, the Houston Texans had a possession and a decision to make on 4th down to go for it and get a chance to come out of the week 1 with a win or punt the ball and play for the tie. In the end, the Texans did what Texans do. They punted the ball, resulting in the game ending 20-20, giving each team the rare tie in the NFL. As always, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the A-Game, and make sure to keep following us for all your sports news.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the A-Game Sports, and be sure to check out App TV on YouTube.
Roll Nears.